Let's begin the fourth video of Microsoft Excel 2013, Chapter 3. At the end of the second video, I forgot to show you this slide where it says to be sure to click the Save button and that you've done a great job. So, make sure that you're on page 170 in your textbook and open your file named Large Worksheets, Charting, and What If Analysis. We are now going to add a clustered column chart to the workbook, and it will look like this, or about like this when you are finished. Again, since we are using a text for Microsoft 2013 and we're using the software for Microsoft 2010, I believe that some of the features that are available in 2013 won't be available to us because we're using the 2010. But go ahead and turn to page 171. And the first thing says to select the range A3 to G3. And hold down the control key and then select the data range A9 to G13. A9 to G13. Release your key from your keyboard. Display the Insert tab at the top. And then click on, the book says to click on the Recommended Charts button, but we are actually just going to click on where it has the charts. And the chart that we're going to choose is the column. And let's select the 2D clustered column. And as you can see, your chart has popped up. Now we're going to move the chart. So at the very top right hand corner, click on where it says Move Chart and click on New Sheet and delete where it says Chart 1 and type in Clustered Column Chart and then click OK. And now turn to page 171 in your textbook. At the bottom it says to insert a chart title, and we're going to have to change our layout. So in this group called Chart Layouts group, click on the More button and select the very first chart, and it gives us an option to insert a chart title. So double click the chart title and, well, actually just click it one time. And now double click inside of it to select the text and type 6-month projected expenses. And now let's select all of that information and go to the Home tab and now click Underline and click anywhere outside of the chart title to deselect it. Click Save. Turn to page 173. Okay, so to add data labels, make sure you click on the Layout tab at the very top under the green Chart Tools and click on Data Labels. And the book asks us to use the outside end option. And this displays data labels and position outside the end of our data points. So click on that. And now that you see the information on the chart, click Save. Now on page 173, it shows as an option that 2013 has where you can actually have that information right here in our viewing pane, and you can just click on things right there. So when we upgrade to 2013, then you'll be able to do that as well. Go ahead and turn to page 174. Another option that 2013 will have, or does have, that you'll be able to do in the future is to actually eliminate some of the data. So let's say this is our Froyo to Go business, and we've noticed that one of our selling points, let's just say it's maybe the kiosk rental, is not doing so well. So what 2013 will do is allow us to actually take that out of the chart, and then we could see the data without that information. So we may decide, hey, that's something we don't want to go into. All right, so now we are going to add an axis title to the chart. And so for 2010, how we'll do that is make sure you're on the Layout tab at the top for the chart tools. Then click Axis Titles. And we want to go to where it says click the arrow to display the Axis Titles flyout menu. So primary, horizontal, we'll do that one first. And then let's click title. Oh no, I'm sorry, click on primary vertical axis title. Okay, now turn to page 175 in your textbook. And go ahead and click on a vertical title. Okay, so over here we can see that that is there. And just delete all the information in there and replace it with a $sign. Now turn to page 176. Click on Axis Titles again. And now we're going to do the horizontal axis, and we're going to place that title below the axis. And there it is. And delete the information in that and type month, which is totally different than what your book says, but this is how we're going to do this. Click Save. Okay, now we're going to change the chart style, and to do that, we are going to click on the Design tab at the top under the green section. And over here we have our chart styles, so let's click More to see what all is available. And usually if you hover over those, it'll give you a preview of what it would look like. But just go ahead and select one of those, and you'll see that it'll change. At the bottom of page 177, it talks about modifying the chart axis number format. So, right-click any value on the vertical axis, and when you do that, you'll see that all those numbers at the top, or whichever one you selected, they will all have a square around them. Now turn to page 178. We're going to click on the Format tab, and then we're going to click on the Layout tab, and then click on the Axis, Format Axis Titles, and Axis Options tab. We don't have that. Oh, here it is. Yes, this one. Not this Axis titles. We want the Axis here. And right now we have show left to right axis. And the book asks us to scroll until number is visible. So right now we have the show left to right axis as what we have selected because we know that it's outlined in orange with a light yellow background. So let's just keep it like that and go ahead and go down to the bottom of page 178. This part talks about removing the filters and data labels, which is for 2013. So let's go on to page 179. Now we're going to organize our workbook. At the bottom of page 179, we're going to rename and color our sheet tabs. So right click on where it says clustered column chart, and then go up to where it says tab color and select a color that is complementary. Then double click the sheet tab labeled sheet 1 and type in 6-month financial projection, and then press your enter key. And now change the sheet tab color to a complementary color, but something different than what you made the clustered column chart. And turn to page 180. We need to reorder the sheet tabs. We don't want the clustered column chart to be first. We want our 6-month financial projection, the data, first. So click on that tab and hold down your mouse and then drag it to the left, and they switched places. Click Save, and now we need to check the spelling in multiple sheets. So with the 6-month financial projection sheet active, with all the data and the numbers, press Control and Home on your keyboard, and that automatically selects cell A1. We're going to hold down the Control key, and then on your chart, click Clustered Column Chart, and so now both sheets are selected. Display the Review tab. With both of those selected, make sure that you go to the top and click on the Review button or the Review tab, and then go over to the left where it says Spelling and click Spelling, and it's going to ask you to correct anything. The Königsleben is the town in Austria, and I'm going to ignore that because that is spelled correctly. It tells me my spelling check is complete. Yours may have different words, and hopefully you don't have any words that are spelled incorrectly. But correct any errors and then click OK. At the bottom of page 180, it talks about how you can preview and print the workbook. So we're not going to actually print this out. However, it is important that you know how to print it out because there will be times when your boss will say, I want to see this on paper, so that they can mark on it or highlight it, which they can probably do with some type of electronic document as well. But sometimes people just want a printout, and maybe you want one for yourself, so you can just double check it. So anyways, so at the bottom of page 180, make sure both tabs are selected. And I'm just going to make sure again by doing that, where I hold the Control key on my keyboard and click on the clustered column chart tab at the bottom. And let's hold down, let's click File at the top and click Print. And we're going to click the Portrait Orientation button. And when we do, it gives us the option to change to the landscape. And go ahead and click on Landscape Orientation. That gives us a print preview automatically. Notice that we have April, May, June, and July, but we don't have August and September on this first page. So we want that on the first page. Let's click on at the bottom where it says no scaling. Drop that down, and we're going to change that to say fit the sheet on one page. So click fit sheet on one page. And our print preview will show us how nice that looks. And now we need to verify our printer. So you're not going to have as many printers available to you as I do, but what I'd like for you to do is click on the PDF Creator. And now click Home. Go ahead and click Save. And turn to page 182 in your textbook. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to change the view of the worksheet. So press Control Home to select A1 and click on the View tab at the top. Then click the Zoom button. A pop-up box appears. We're going to, at the bottom of page 182, it says to click 75%. Then click OK. Now turn to page 183. Number 3 says to click the Zoom Out button. So in the bottom right-hand corner, hopefully this is just review for everyone. And when you click Zoom Out, it changes it. You just click it one time. It changes it to 70%, and all worksheet content is visible. Number 4 says click the 100% button at the top in the middle. So click that 100%. And now that you can see that we can't see all of the workbook. All right, so now what we're going to do is on page 184. We're going to split a window into panes, window panes. Number 1, select cell E8. E8. So it should be the 5,000 for the bonus. You have 0, 0, 5,000, 5,000. This one's the E. Oh, that's E9. E8. Oops. Okay, so the one above that. E8. Display the View tab at the top. Then click on the Split button, and this is going to divide the window into 4 different panes at that point where we selected at E8. So split. Now you can scroll down and see different information. You can use the scroll arrows to show the 4 corners of the worksheet at the same time. Now turn to page 185. What if we don't want that there? We don't need that there, and we want to remove it. Click the Split button again, and it's gone. Click Save. Now let's say we want to freeze a worksheet column or row. Turn to page 186. Scroll the worksheet to ensure that Excel displays row 3 as the first row and column A on the screen. So scroll down so that we can see column 3, but not column A and I have to use my scroll bar on the right hand side to make that go exactly where I want it to be. Okay, so our first row will be the row of months. Now select cell B4, where we have the revenue of $45,000. Display the View tab at the top, then click the Freeze Panes button. It gives us a few options, so let's click Freeze Panes, because that's basically all we want to do right now, is to freeze the pane. That means it won't move below or beside that. Scroll down in the worksheet until row 9 is displayed. So scroll down. Oops, I'm going to have to use my scroll bar over on the side. And there it is. So I have row 9. I have row 3, which is frozen. And then row 9 shows me the bonus. Now turn to page 187. Now to unfreeze the worksheet, columns and rows, press Control Home on your keyboard and it will take you to B4 because that's where we added the freeze, or we were below the freeze pane of the columns and the row. Now click the View tab and click the Freeze Panes button. And now instead of this saying Freeze Panes, it says Unfreeze the Panes. And if you click on that, you will unlock all rows and columns to scroll through the entire worksheet. Now click on the Home tab. Now click Save. And here comes the best part, the what if analysis. We use what if analysis all the time. We may start saying for the summer we want to get a job, and we might say, well, if I am going to mow grass, then I will charge $10 a yard. Or you could say, and if I mowed 10 yards, that's $100 because 10 times 10 is 100. Or you could say, well, what if I charged $12 a yard and you still mowed 10 yards, so 10 times 12 is $120. So that would give you an increase of $20 if you charge 12 instead of 10. But let's say you just want to charge 10. And let's say that instead of increasing the price, you increased the volume. So instead of mowing just 10 yards, you've decided to mow 15 yards. And so 10 times 15 is $150. So these are all things that you need to think about when it comes to your money. And then you could also say, well, what if, as far as your expenses go, well, what if the gas prices are um, $2 a gallon and it takes me a gallon to mow all the yards? Then that would be one of your expenses. Or what if gas prices go up this summer to $3 a gallon and it takes you a gallon to mow all of the yards? Then your expenses would be a total of $3. Now these are all just numbers I'm pulling out of the air. But the point is, you want to do what if to guide your budgeting and your money and your work. Okay, so go ahead and turn to page 188 in your text. We're going to scroll the worksheet so that row 4 is the first row visible on the worksheet. So we want to see row 4. If I scroll down, I jump to row 6. I'm going to use my scroll bar to the side and scroll down so that row 4 is the first row visible. Now I'm going to click in cell A7, and it's a blank cell, there's nothing in it, A7, and this will allow me to select the row above to split the window. So to do that, click the split button, so go back to view, yeah, view tab at the top, and then click split. Now we're going to scroll arrows in the lower right pane so that we can see row 8 as the first visible. There we go. So our expenses, we can see all of it, but we want just the expenses row to show under where it says gross margin. It's not working. Well, that's fine. We'll just keep going. Even though I think I messed it up somehow. But anyways, it should still work. Okay, so row 8 is supposed to be the first row visible in the lower part of the screen. We are going to enter in cell B20 for the bonus where it says 5,000. We're going to enter 5,500. Then in cell B22 for our commission, right now it says 0.3. We're going to change that to 5.00. And then in cell B25, so what we're saying is that what if our commission is, instead of 3%, we're doing 5% commission. Then, actually, let's just type in, instead of 5.00, let's put 0.05. Okay, now in cell B25, right now, our equipment repair and maintenance, we budgeted 4%, and we're going to change that. No, we're not. Yes, we are. Okay, so it says enter 5,500 in cell B20, then 27, okay, I messed up. It'd be 27.5% in cell B22. So change that to 0.275, and now in cell B25, change that to 5%, which would be 0.05. Okay, so once you enter all that information in, once you change those, all of the information up here is changing as well. So as you can see in cell D9, our bonus is now $5,500. All right, click Save. The next thing we're going to do is at the end, or at the bottom of page 188, we are going to goal seek. You should have goals, personal goals for yourself. You want to get your driver's license, you want to buy a car, you want to go to college. You have all kinds of goals that you want to seek. So we're going to do that with Excel. Use the scroll arrows in the lower pane to ensure that you can view all of the what if assumptions table and the operating income figures. So scroll down, we can see the operating income, and I can't see all of them, so I'm going to have to do some minimizing here. Okay, so now I can see it. Okay, so I have the operating income across and all of the what if assumptions. Select cell H16, and that would be the $96,575. Now display the data tab at the top and click the what if analysis button. Okay, so I've selected cell H16, and when I click on the data tab, nothing is available for me to work with. So if I could, I would click on the what if analysis as the text tells us to, but I can't. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video now, and when we come back for the very last video, I will show you the what if analysis once I get this figured out. But until then, this is the end of video 4, and I'll see you back in video 5, and video 5 will be really short. So thank you.